I used to think for the longest time that the solution to putting on more muscle was to keep adding more, and more. I thought that the reason why I wasn't growing was because I wasn't doing enough and I needed to really add in a lot more exercises, more sets, more days in the gym, and it ended up just keeping me in a cycle where I was stuck, where I kept on adding in more. I was going to the gym 5, 6 days a week for an hour and a half each time. I kept on adding in new exercises, trying to hit the muscle from different angles. And it turns out that my physique actually did not grow at all, and I was stagnant and I hit a plateau. So as it turns out, this state of thinking, where you need to add in more sets, more reps, and keep on adding more stress, is actually could not be further from the truth, thinking that this is going to lead to lasting muscle growth. And doing more does not equal building more muscle. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how doing less can actually get you a lot more results in the gym. The first point to go over is that a lot of people online, a lot of these fitness influencers who promote going to the gym 5, 6 days a week, hitting the muscle group from 6 different angles, a lot of them actually take steroids. The reality is that if you're natural, anything more than what I'm going to go over today is actually really going to be detrimental because your body's ability to recover from this amount of stress is actually severely compromised. Whereas people who take steroids, like a lot of the fitness industry does online, they play by a completely different set of rules, and therefore their advice that might help and work for them does not translate into helping you at all. So point number one is that working out more is actually going to work against you. If you work out 5 or 6 days a week, you're going to find that your nervous system, which is essentially your brain and your spinal cord sending nerve impulses into your muscles to activate your muscle fibers, is going to get severely fatigued. And therefore, it's actually going to really create a compromise to your strength in each and every workout. And as you know, building muscle and building up your strength go hand in hand. So if you really want to build up muscle, you need to be improving your strength each and every time you go to the gym. So the problem with going 6 days per week is you're just building up a ton of excess fatigue. Your body hasn't had enough time to properly recover from this and for your muscles to actually grow back and become stronger. And also your nervous system isn't going to be in its most elevated state when you're working out, which means that your ability to recruit muscle fibers and recruit motor units is going to be hindered. So I therefore recommend that the best split you do is just a 3-day split. Anyone who says that you need to work out more than 3 days a week if you're not taking drugs does not know what they're talking about. 3 days is absolutely perfect, and I highly recommend having a day of rest of 48 hours in between each workout. This is really going to help your body to recover, to go through that recovery process, for your nervous system to recover, so that therefore each and every time you go and you hit the gym, you're fresh and you're ready to go. And this is really going to lead to you consistently hitting PRs each and every time you go to the gym. So the split that I do is an upper body on Monday, a lower body on Wednesday, and then an upper body again on Friday. Therefore, you're giving your upper body muscles at least 72 to 96 hours to actually fully recover, so that when you hit them again, they're actually fully recovered and they're ready to go. This is another problem with so many people who talk about going to the gym 5, 6 days a week. They're actually hitting the muscle when it hasn't fully grown back and they haven't given it enough time to recover properly. So my next point is adding more exercises is not going to help you. I used to think that if you just did 3 to 4 exercises per muscle group, and did 3 sets each, this would just mean that I would have to grow more because I put in a more amount of effort. Whereas the reality is this is not how muscle building works. The first 3 hard sets you do on each muscle group equate to 95% of the total stimulus you can get on that muscle group. So anything over this, you're just fighting over that final 1 or 2 or 3% gains, and in addition to this, you're creating an excess amount of fatigue, which is really going to compromise your strength in the subsequent sets, and it's going to really lead to your ability to actually build muscle and create stimulus on your muscles on subsequent exercises, subsequent sets, and workouts is going to be compromised. So I therefore recommend just do 3 hard sets per muscle group. This is going to give you all you need. You do not need to spend all this time and energy just fighting over another few percent after this, because it's really not worth your time, and it's also going to compromise your ability to actually recover and grow back stronger if you do this because of the excess amount of fatigue you're going to create. So I therefore highly recommend just stick to the basics. Just do 3 hard working sets. This is all you need each muscle group. You do not need to do 2 or 3 different exercises per muscle group. And it's also a myth that you need to hit each muscle group from all these different angles to build muscle. If you want to build muscle, you just need to get stronger on key lifts. And the way to do this is to get that stimulus without creating excess amount of fatigue, so you can create that stress and then you can recover and go back and be stronger. So my last point, which is very important as well, is instead of increasing volume, what you should be looking at increasing is increase the amount of intensity that you have in each workout. Now the reason why this is so beneficial is because the way that you really build muscle, it's by increasing the amount of stress that your muscles are under. This is going to force your muscles to adapt and grow and come back stronger. So instead of just adding in more and more exercises and workouts and just creating fatigue, instead cut this back and just go really hard and do a few really hard, solid working sets. I like to go to what I call 1 rep in reserve, where I'm run 1 rep before failure, because I feel like saving this last rep just minimizes fatigue, and so overall the total stimulus you're going to get for the whole workout is actually higher. So I found that this is a new tactic which I've implemented, which has really helped me, and it's led to me getting consistent strength gains. However, if you just want, you can just do 1 or 2 hard sets to failure. It's not the end of the world, and it's just the reality is that you really need to be increasing the amount of stress your muscles are under. And where you really get the stimulus, where you really get this growth, it's in those last final reps as you lead up to failure. So it's crucially important that instead of just increasing the volume, all that really does is increase fatigue. You really need to increase the intensity. This is going to push your muscles, this is going to force them to adapt and grow, and this is where real growth lies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is my guide as to why doing less is actually going to get you more jacked. It's going to help you recover better, it's going to lead to more strength gains, and it's going to lead to you putting on a lot more muscle. So I hope this helps you guys, and let me know what you think in the comments.